Making a damn beauty blog over here.
Alright. No, I'm not. I'm so not a beauty guru.
I would be the beauty guru.
Oh, I know I ain't. So, I don't wear makeup like that. I ain't even put no lipsticks on. Cause Jeff stole my lipsticks. Welcome back, everybody, to Disturbriana vlog channel. If you are not already, you definitely should subscribe because I just said so. And
that's cold.
Burn.
I know, right?
Say it like that.
I know, right?
Or else.
Because people should at this
She don't
point.
mean it like that.
But
She's not as mean as she thinks she is.
You should.
anyway, and then click the notification bell to be notified on future stuff.
It's gonna be up there.
Click the button so we can annoy you.
Wait, can I point to where it's gonna be at?
I think
here.
It's over here?
No, it's like
Left hand side, right?
Why you pointing at everybody's nostrils and eyes? Can you watch out if we bust somebody in the eye with that thing?
oh my god. Yes, it's on our left, your right.
You're right.
Yes. The subscribe and the notification bell. So, click both of those. And as you can see, we all grayed out.
Gray
You know what I'm
day.
saying? Hashtag gray day.
Oh,
You know?
she shows this thing with it.
Me and Brianna were great first.
Well, we were.
And then our boyfriends wanted to be a part of it.
Exactly. They jocked us, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a week or two ago, Jeff and I watched both the Netflix and the Hulu documentary about the Fyre Festival. And most people know that as the festival that never happened. And we're basically going to get into why it never happened, because it was like the talk of the country like 2 years ago. In effect, 2016-ish,
17.
yeah, it was in the works 2016, but then everything kind of started 2017.
That was like May 2017.
Well, when it all blew up.
Yeah.
Sort of, kind of.
It don't
Or was it April?
It don't matter.
I think it was April, and then a lot of the lawsuits happened in May. We convinced Mike and Summer to watch them. And, you know, when we did the whole R. Kelly thing, we kind of took them by surprise because they didn't see it. Now they actually had the opportunity to watch at least the Netflix version of the Fyre Festival
I literally watched it 2 months.
documentary.
Go ahead.
I literally watched it this morning.
It kind of all sums it up to one person, and that person name is...
Billy McFarland. Seth MacFarlane.
So anybody named McFarlane, I should. But anyway.
But
I'm
anyway,
sorry, Seth. I watched
Yeah, the guy's name is Billy McFarlane.
who's the other guy? Sorry.
Oh,
And yeah, one overlooked rapper in the industry,
Oh, man.
which is Ja Rule. Billy McFarland was like a computer tech like me, but I think he just took it to the
If
extreme.
you put together some Fyre Festival shit, I will disown you.
If we had to sum up the Fyre Festival right now, it was basically a scam festival. Like,
Yeah.
that's how we look at it, because
Primarily focused on influencers, quote unquote.
exactly everything that was promoted was not there. Everything that was promised was not there. And he literally did a good job on making people spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and got millions and millions of dollars from investors to sink into this festival who they tried to claim to be better than Coachella. It just didn't work. Like, nothing was what...
That was a red flag.
First of all, he was already skeptical for the credit cards he was doing called Magnesis.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like
he basically created this credit card company. It was like perks and stuff that was supposed to be promised with it. You know how most cars, they had like 10% off, or if you use it at certain places, you get certain money back. You know, people were saying that they wasn't getting the stuff that was promised on the card. And it was just, that's red flag number one, just of something that he did. And then, out of nowhere, he met Ja Rule. Like, first of all, Billy McFarland was one of those people where, you know, he was kind of nerdy. Nobody really paid attention to him. And then all of a sudden, when he started this credit card thing, he got the money, the cars, the girls, which was, I guess, what he wanted. He wanted that flashy lifestyle. And in the midst of that lifestyle, he met Ja Rule. And they came up.
He mistakenly booked them or something like that. Something like that happened, right?
I think so. Hulu kind of went into how him and Ja Rule met, and Netflix just kind of started straight to the point, like, boom, like they were at this. It wasn't a TED. Was it a TED Talk? It was like some type of like
TED Talk thing, but they
no,
were talking about.
It was like on like a platform, right?
Yeah.
And they were.
I don't know, some type of like tech.
Yeah, some type of
conference, something like
tech.
that.
It was a
I don't know what
conference.
it was.
Yeah. That's when they introduced the whole idea of the Fyre Festival. First of all, I think the first red flag was for me.
What's Ja Rule?
Yeah.
Yes.
Incarnate fire.
Yeah, he couldn't explain what
The
it was.
first red flag was the fact that it was Ja Rule was there, and that, like Jeff said, he could not even explain what
Like,
fire was.
He curved that question for.
It was like, I'm gonna let my guy Billy here explain what the Fyre Festival is. Like, how are you the face of something you can't even explain what it is?
Right.
Calling it fire was just wrong from the beginning. Like,
Well,
really,
it burned in hell.
it's like too literal. Like you want it to be lit, and you
Two-
want it to be
it's
able
like
to
two
party.
tombstones are next to each other. Murder Inc. Fyre Festival. That's sad.
So sad.
They planned for this Fyre Festival to happen not anywhere in the United States. They planned for it to happen in the Bahamas.
Anyway, go ahead.
Red flag number 2.
No, that's 3.
That's 3.
Naming it fire.
What?
That's a red flag.
Okay, naming it Fire is number 1.
That is.
Ja Rule is number 2.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bahamas is number 3.
On an island.
Come on, keep it going.
On an
Keep it going.
island-
We're gonna rack it up. We're
On
gonna
an
rack it up.
island where there's like not really any electricity, like plumbing, because it was on like a
Remote island.
it was on a remote island, so it's not like it was in like the well-known like cities and little towns and stuff. It was on a whole like separate joint ski. My assumption is it takes like a year or 2 to even get this together. You gotta get approvals and stuff. You gotta get construction done. You gotta get plumbing done. You gotta get
Lawyers.
First of all, they have no kind of
Security?
experience whatsoever dealing with festivals. Like,
No.
not even small festivals.
No.
Like their whole sole purpose was promotion.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
all they paid attention to.
Promotion. Yep. They went to the Bahamas and basically they started creating like these promo videos. They had like famous models go out there and they was just catching like film of them just having fun, and they had yachts and they were swimming with pigs and they were on like jet skis and it was
Who wants to swim with a pig? Why is that lit? Who is that lit to?
drinking and having fun, and they recorded it and they made a promo out of it, and then they got these same exact models to basically like post and promote this Fyre Festival. And one of the kickers is the one person they got to definitely promote just one time, and she ain't do it again, I don't think, was Kendall Jenner. Now
$250.
they paid her $250,000 for one post. And she said something like, so happy to announce that the Good Music family is performing at the Fyre Festival. And I'm like, are they? And you know what? It's sad because I was heavy into social media at this time, but I really did not pay attention to all this chaos. Instagram and Twitter, which that's what, a lot of the reactions was coming from the most. And,
Twitter had a field day when this happened. Like, I remember like yesterday.
Yeah, so this promotion is attracting influencers of the millennium generation. And people started, RSVPing their tickets and their rooms and their little villas.
It's their fault.
It's funny though.
Ah.
It is their. I blame them too. Cause I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
Billy sucks.
They had all the staff, and they had like, who was it? The fuck Jerry guy?
Jerry Media.
The Jerry
That was a
Media.
company name. Jerry Media.
They dealt with social media marketing, so they had them basically doing stuff. And
Yeah, they're
then
like
they
the
had-
best in the business like from this generation at least. That
Yeah.
For marketing.
But
social
they've been
media.
quiet since then.
They had to.
First of all, it kind of seemed like they were just on this like high for like 4 months, and the fact that they were trying to plan this in 6 months, and I felt like they decided to wait like 8 weeks before they scheduled this, Fyre Festival date. That now we really got to do shit. So now they're forcing all of this crap to happen within.
Niggas
Like,
spent all that time.
Wait, you jumped
the
the
last
part because
2
they
to
had
3
an island
months.
and they moved to another island. Because they had said, that's right.
Oh,
They had
yeah.
said, because the island had history of like drug activity.
From
And the owner-
Pablo Escobar.
Right, and the owner was like, don't post that, name up, and they did, and so they told him to get out.
They had one job to do.
One job.
Yeah, one job.
Don't say Pablo Escobar on social media, and they
As
did.
soon as the video comes on, they said the name right on the screen, clear as day.
Exactly. They didn't even say it. It was just the words.
Island owned by Pablo Escobar.
Yep. And they got kicked right off, and they had to go somewhere else. Then the island that they changed to, they like photoshopped the land.
Instead of making it a private island, it was actually an island for that, like a lot of people.
Exactly. So, if I find the photo that has the comparison, so y'all could see like how altered it was, I'll post it up in the video. They had the Bohemian workers, of course, trying to do everything, trying to cram in everything. They said they would work like 15-hour days. Barely.
More than that.
Yeah.
Well,
They worked like all day, almost all night.
they were overworked and very, very underpaid. Mind you, Billy had got what was it, $38 million from investors,
Yeah.
and they just gave it all to him. Not give him like each portion at a time to even make sure that the money is being used for the festival itself. They did not like monitor his spending or anything.
Like down
They just
payments, like they're supposed to keep track of those. Supposed to keep track of down payments
Nope.
anytime you're doing
They
business
just-
with somebody.
Yep, and they just gave it all to him. So they didn't even know what they was giving their
Like
money
he
to
would
and
lie to
stuff
them
like
and say that his company Magnesia was doing better than it really was. So for example, I think he said that he booked Drake or something like that.
For 100,000? He booked Drake for 100,000 or something?
like
It was
that.
something like that.
100,000.
Yeah,
That's
he was
not
the
even
company,
enough.
We never booked Drake, like
That's not even enough for Drake.
right,
It really isn't, especially not in 2017.
right.
So, they trying to rush and get everything done, and
Maybe for the Degrassi Drake.
oh my gosh, that's funny. And in the midst of all of this, there was someone that was kind of like catching on to their scheme. So there were pages such as Fire Fraud or what's the other one?
Fire K.
Or Fire K. That was basically exposing them as they were still promoting. It's still catching influencers' eyes, even though there's red flags all over the place. I remember in I think both of the documentaries, the crew that was building the stages and stuff, like they was talking about how like this is not even realistic for it to be all rushed like this.
Like even the marketing team said the same thing. They were like, this is not going to get done in 6 to 8 weeks or 6 to 8 months rather.
Wasn't Fire K the one that was kind of like website that was being like real recent, like day by day, where they were like taking
Yup.
pictures
Yeah.
and putting things up there?
Yeah, so it
he
was-
had a meeting with everybody saying, "Oh, if I find out who it is, not only will
Oh,
you be
yup.
fired, but
Legal
some
action.
you'll be legal actions, you'll be
Yup.
threatened, and all this other type of stuff." And then I
Mhm.
think he did find out who he is, but did he?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think
And
the
then-
person
yeah.
wanted.
But he wanted more money or
Right,
something. He
something
wanted
like that.
money, so that's another person saying, "Let me get more money before I,
Exactly. So it was basically an inside job of
Yeah.
how that all came about. What
Talk about
else?
the FEMA tents."
Oh my god. I'm gonna post a picture of that too. The way it was advertised, it made it look like you was gonna be in like this toasty little like villa.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, it's literally just a dome tent
Like a cute
With a mattress in it.
upscale tent.
Like a bed.
that has like 2 beds in each tent.
Yeah.
And then they actually did rent houses that was like a little further out, but they were going to have transportation, which at this time they really didn't know what they were doing that either. They were going to have transportation to take people to the festival and everything. But Billy wasn't paying the owners of these houses. So now they like, well, he's such and such days late with my payments to rent my house out. Like, where's my money? And then you had the poor lady who was the chef.
I was so sad for her because she didn't have to go into her money and pay the people, but she did because she was like, I ain't no scam artist. I'm gonna pay people for what they do.
Yeah, so basically, so she was in charge of like the food in like one specific area, and she had staff, and she was doing their job. She was feeding the staff, and then when people did show up on the island, she was feeding those people. But then because she never got paid, she had to use her life savings and pay her staff, and now she has nothing. And
start back from the beginning.
Now she got to start back from scratch because Billy never paid her.
Right,
like
there's a GoFundMe page out there somewhere that's supporting her.
There is a GoFundMe that people has been like paying her back, which was really, really sweet because she deserves it. They had to buy sand, right? They had to purchase the sand.
They purchased it like the day before the festival. No one ever went to the actual stage. They just played music from there.
And the stage wasn't even all the way finished, being built.
And that's why artists said that they wouldn't.
They were dropping out last minute
because one of the reasons
because they have to practice. Like
they also like every artist has their own way of performing. They didn't have none of the equipment or whatever, so that the artists can perform their own separate ways.
So the acts were dropping out last minute, definitely. And then what was that water called? The Avion water. Yep. They couldn't get it past customs. So what his name was? His name was Andy something.
Andy something.
He
just Andy.
And
whole government out there.
True.
Well, his government's already out there.
Alright, but let him take care of it.
Let's just call him Andy for right now.
Yeah. So they couldn't get the water like past customs. It was like due to money and like some like regulations or procedures, whatever. Billy literally asked Andy to get on his knees and give him a blowjob and take one for the team. And Andy was very much going to do so because he was that desperate to get this done for Fyre. And the guy didn't even let him do it. Like, 'cause you could just tell how desperate he was. But I think it still didn't work. They still didn't get it past customs, right?
No, they did.
Oh, they did.
I think Andy paid for it. Money. He still
like 75 grand
wanted money for it.
So Andy paid. I think Andy paid for that.
Okay.
And he got the water out of it.
I think the guy was just trying to bluff, basically, just to get money. And I don't think he really wanted.
No, he would have did it.
No, I'm not talking about Andy.
Oh.
I mean, Andy said he was going to do that because of.
Right.
that was his friend, so he wanted to help his friend. I'm talking about the guy that Billy was saying wanted it.
The wristbands. So basically, they had got this like. I don't think it was with the Jerry Media people. It might have been, but I'm not sure. I think it was with another company. So they designed these wristbands where you had to put money on them because they said on the island there was going to be no like ATMs, no machines to process like debit or credit card payments, and no cash because it was a remote island.
See, here's the thing: that was Billy's cover up. The real motive behind that was for him to pay off his debts, basically.
Yep.
So let's create these wristbands where we get money back, basically.
Yep. So you had to put money on the wristbands. And that was supposed to cover you being able to do certain things. And people really put like hundreds and thousands of dollars on these wristbands on top of paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for their flights and their villas. And, wasted their money. And then Like, and then Mike, what you say? They was receiving like the email chains.
Yeah.
It was like,
Billy and his team designed email chains.
Yep.
So that are sent out to these people and attendees, requesting that they fill up their wallet. So they would remind the attendees, hey, you haven't used your wallet, or you haven't paid any attention or filled up your wallet in such and such time. It's time for you to fill up $3,000 or so, basically to be able to enjoy the perks of this festival.
Yep. And then
they were getting calls from people about it.
It's a classic. I mean, it's a business move just to get engagement,
Exactly.
Money. But I mean, again, they, you gotta have a product.
Yep. And then
you gotta talk about how they did their page when they didn't have much information about like where's the flight at and how they get the rooms and then they cut off comments.
That's what I was gonna get
People
into.
People were asking like when is Migos set, when is Lil Yachty performing, blah 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 blah. Try to find just details like that, stuff that's important.
Simple.
That or even
sense details.
Or even just talking about the bad customer service, because they felt like there's people that were calling their customer service line and no one would answer, no one would pick up, or no one would give like direct answers. So then when they felt like they wasn't getting that from phone calls or even emails, even though they were sending the email chains.
So they hired Jerry Media to basically delete certain comments, basically. Like
it first started off with deleting comments.
Yeah.
And then it started off with, I didn't even know you could filter comments that could be blocked. So if it had certain words that were negative, like, I don't know, like piece of shit.
Yep.
Or this was horrible.
Fights or
whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
They can set them to be blocked, and then you can only see the positive comments. And then I guess that eventually didn't work, so then they turned the comments off altogether.
Completely.
Which that's another red flag.
That's very...
Yes.
I kind of lost count of how many there were.
We're like 12 right now.
Yep. I lost count. Well, I think the biggest red flag of them all, which was very ironic, is literally the day before the festival. It poured like raining cats and dogs. Yep. Like worse than raining cats and dogs.
And that dude they said they was all laughing. That guy and the staff.
Them tents were soaked.
Right.
Them tents couldn't even, the material couldn't handle that much rain. Mm-hmm. And they didn't even have a backup plan of how to properly cover them up. And it was just...
I don't think they paid attention to that.
No, they didn't.
But then the beds were wet, and then when the people got there were beds just sitting on the sand that weren't even put in the tent yet.
Exactly. At this point, it's the day of the Fyre Festival. There's construction that's still not done. The tents are messed up. The beds in the tents are messed up. And
mud coming in the tents too.
Yep, there's mud coming through the tents. And then all you kind of see is tents and porta potties and all this other stuff. So mind you, in both of the documentaries, there are, a few clips from influencers that were at the airports and they were getting ready to get on the plane, and there were already complaints of the plane ride. They get there and then they had to wait for the transportation, which I don't know how they pulled that off.
They put them in a commercial airliner, basically.
Yep.
And then they slap pictures and stuff all over it.
Yeah.
That's all it was about commercials and promotion stuff. That's it. And then they had the school bus driver who wasn't even... That's crazy. He wasn't even connected to Fyre. He just...
and it was crazy because they was asking him questions of how does it look? And he was just
wait till you see this.
He was just listen.
Just wait till you see.
Y'all think y'all in for a ride. Wait till you see where y'all staying there.
That's right. That one girl, she was like, "Oh my God, this isn't it, right?" He was like, "Yeah."
He was like,
"Oh, so you staying at?"
Yeah, that's where you staying at. Pods.
Yep. And it was just people that was nah, I gotta get off. I gotta go back home. And it's like they drop some people off there, and then they drop some people off at the place, at the little restaurant where the lady had her staff and they was making everything. Oh my God. And then they had all this liquor too. So it was kind of like people were just, getting drunk, and it was a good kind of distraction from
the disaster.
The disaster, mind you. There's no good service out there. There's no cellular service. There's no wireless service. No internet, no nothing. And people are getting to this island, and then they see these pods, and they're just like, what the hell is this? And then everybody looking at Billy like what is it? Like, what did I just pay for? And then he just standing on top of the car looking at everybody all dumb. Like, everybody has the same question, Billy.
And he told the dude to blast the music
so people could get more distracted.
But you gotta think about it. Everybody is there coming from America with luggage. Ain't nobody gonna be.
And some people
with all the alcohol and all the popular music, you got a big Adidas bag in your hand.
Exactly. And then some people luggage wasn't even with them. They was in like this big behind truck that couldn't come with everybody at once. Yeah. So like people had to
hope you find your bag.
Exactly. And one of the things that Summer was talking about earlier was the fact that like the tents wasn't labeled, they weren't protected. Even if there was a concert or a festival, is a high chance of theft.
Something, right?
Yeah, like it's not like there's no doors where you can just lock your shit up, like.
And the lockers were like, they look like them skating rink lockers, like them small. You just fit your shoes and maybe one bag in there.
24 lockers.
They said that they were out there for like hours, and it wasn't until nighttime the lockers finally came and they unwrapping them right then and there.
Yep. And there was people trapped there for like 2 or 3 days. And then what happened was like, obviously you figure out that the festival wasn't the way it was promoted. Oh my God, the damn tray with the sandwich.
Oh, that was the post
that set it all off.
Set it off.
Like, it was like, I don't know if it was supposed to be like a chicken sandwich. The cheese wasn't melted.
It was cheese in the coffee store.
First, cheese, bread, and lettuce.
And a little side salad.
Cheese,
bread, and side salad.
And the white platter. Yes.
They were supposed to have sushi. They were supposed to spend $6 million on this restaurant, but all they had was $1 million, which it don't even look like they spent that much. And yeah.
And
also people were like, the people that came, they were like stabbing people's tents and peeing on people's tents and things like that, just running like rampant.
Yeah, barely any power, so the people had to use their flashlights.
There were no street lights. Or any lights like
and people were literally running to their tents to claim one, and it was just sad. And then like people tried to basically, rush home like the next day or the next few days, and like the airport was overcrowded. And then there were points where they would get on the plane, then they had to get off the plane, get on the plane, then they had to get off the plane, then they'd be locked in the airport, and then they get back on the plane, and then all of a sudden they can leave.
I still gotta hear again why they were locked in the airport. I forgot.
I forgot
why they said that.
Because there's people that was like overcrowding the plane.
So to keep people from coming in.
Yeah, and I think there was like so many people trying to go out that like when they would try to count people off, they were like, all right, everybody gotta get off, and then you get back on. Because I think what was happening is they needed the correct people who were booked on this flight to get on the plane. And if you wasn't booked on the flight, then that's why they kept forcing people off. But at the rate that turned out, it was like the Fyre Festival caused so much chaos in the Bahamas, period. Like, it just was like a disrespect to the culture. And then something else was going on the same weekend, right?
Oh yeah.
Regatta?
Yeah, the regatta. Yeah. They had a regatta pretty much. Yeah. I don't know how often, but the regatta is like a big, like a sporting event. Basically a series of sporting events. And it's big in the Bahamas. So they were having it the same weekend as that. And And
So you got people coming in for that.
The population twice as large.
Yep. So it just caused a big inconvenience to the Bahamas as a whole. There was still people coming in for both Regatta and Fyre Festival, and then they come to find out, and there's probably people telling them like, you gonna need to turn right back around, go home, because it ain't worth it. So then you got all these extra people trying to go home at the same time. It was just a complete failure. So then once they realized it was a complete failure, then they put out this statement talking about some, due to unfortunate circumstances that were beyond our control. That was another red flag because they had so much control. They had more than enough time to say, okay, we cannot do this right now. We could postpone it. At the end of the day, for Billy, it was about money. It was about him getting money from everybody. It seemed like he got money. He damn sure got money from these investors. Like 38 million, that's a lot. He got money from the influencers. So all of the customers that purchased tickets and stuff like that. I would say he got money from Ja Rule, because I'm pretty sure Ja Rule put a little piece of cut into it, and
a little piece of change.
A little piece of change. Billy just messed it all up. And I think I heard in the midst of that, Billy just ran. And at this point, the staff of the Fyre Festival were getting threatened.
Literally threatened by the locals.
Yes.
And
the Bohemians.
And just other people. Well, yeah, the Bohemians.
Yep.
The people that lived there, and by other people with it was them, because it was a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy was getting threatened by somebody. He wasn't a Bohemian, but he was some guy that he owed money to.
Mm-hmm.
He said was following him around.
Yep. So it was really becoming serious because Billy wasn't giving them their money, and they still sort of kind of don't have their money to this day. I don't think they put out that bogus statement, and then people started doing lawsuits after lawsuits after lawsuits. Then they had this meeting. Oh, this meeting was people that was sitting down in a conference room, and then they had web conferences
with everybody
on this one meeting. Ja Rule was also in the meeting, and at this point we're all like, all right, so what is he going to say about this disaster?
Well, you gotta say what the other guy said first.
Oh wait, what did he say?
He said that this was a fraud.
Oh yeah, he was like, we basically. Yeah, he was just like, this is a fraud. We basically participated in a fraud. And then Ja Rule says, it wasn't a fraud. It was false advertisement.
And then he said it was just a big mistake. It was just one mistake. We just made one mistake.
One too many.
I mean, it wasn't a mistake. They knew it wasn't going to work the entire time, but
exactly.
It was Billy that kept pushing it forward.
That's like saying,
this is going to work.
That's like saying, I didn't punch him. He just got hurt on the expense of my fist being punched.
It was just a sandwich and just had bread, meat, and cheese, and I just had to put it together.
Exactly. And Ja Rule wasn't trying to admit to the part that he played, even though he was kind of blinded by it in a sense. But you still have to hold yourself accountable, because at the end of the day, his face was on it. People don't really know Billy up front. They know Ja Rule the rapper. So they're going to come at Ja Rule first before they come at Billy. That's just what it is.
I feel like I got a deeper appreciation for 50 Cent now.
And 50 Cent is a straight up bully.
But it's stuff like this was just... Can you blame him?
And what you say, Jeff, earlier, you said Ja Rule he thought he could be a mogul.
Yeah, I think he got used. I think Billy was just using him the entire time. That's why I don't really, I fought him because his name's on it. Ja Rule's name was on it, but still, I think he was used.
Yeah.
I mean, I say it's still all Billy's fault.
Of course.
I'm doing everything with him.
Right. He's the head honcho of this thing, so.
Yeah.
The mastermind or whatever.
And then the whole time, I don't want to say all his staff, all his promotional staff, because that's the people that he kind of only paid attention to the most, was all saying that they never really, not too many of them talked about Ja Rule that much. A lot of them talked to Billy about everything. and he would make these comments that didn't make sense to them, and I think somebody kept telling him that there were problems, and he was like, let's not look for problems, let's only look for solutions. I don't want to hear problems, I only want to hear what we're doing right.
I mean, well,
and what he thought was doing right was telling his employers that, you know, he's basically broke and he is not letting them go. Like, he's not firing them, he's not laying them off. However, his employers were not going to get paid. Usually when you're laid off, you're able to file for unemployment and stuff like that. And like, if an employee quits, they can't really file for unemployment because they quit. So
it's like they can, but it's just you have to. It's like more you have to go into it. Like, you have to be real specific about what happened, and then they have to investigate on like if this is worth them giving money. But if you get let go, then that just means that your employer couldn't hold you, and that's not your fault. So now we have to give you money because it's not your fault.
I feel like even if they were to file for unemployment, because of how large and extreme of a scam this was, I don't even think they would have got accepted. What do y'all think?
I mean, who knows? I mean, like I said, if you get laid off, unemployment will kick in. I mean, but it depends, I guess. But that's the best way to get unemployment, rather than being quit or especially getting fired. Because he was saying, I'm not letting you go. He wasn't saying he was going to fire them or let them go. He said, I'm just not going to pay you. And she's just like, well, how are we going to get unemployment if you're not going to let us go, but you're not going to pay us? So you're basically making us quit. So therefore, we definitely can't get unemployment if we gotta quit. So
that was reverse psychology.
What are you doing? Like, mean something with your words.
Sneaking.
Yeah.
He got hit with all these lawsuits from multiple people, from everybody, from a lot of the influencers,
me,
to the.
Have you watched this video?
Yeah, sure, Summer.
Lawsuit.
From us, he got sued by us because we actually watched the documentary, and it bothered our minds. But for real, he got sued by influencers. He got sued by the people in the Bahamas, like the workers, the cafe people. Who else? The people that was building the stage. He got sued by them.
And even his
he got sued by his own.
His the people that worked for him, like
they sued
promotional crew. No, not that. But some of them got sued because they.
Oh yeah, some of them
they were
the one
a
guy
part of it.
Yep, some of them got sued. Yep, some of his staff got sued.
The one guy was sued by Amex for like how much? How much was it again?
$150,000.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
I
remember
forgot
that.
his name.
I teared when I saw that.
I felt so bad for him, but I'm like, you were a part of it, but I'm still sorry.
I mean, it wasn't his fault. He was just doing his job.
He was just doing it. I mean, a lot of them were really just doing their job.
Exactly. A lot of them were blinded, and and some of the models were sued. Kendall Jenner being one of them, I think.
Well, what happened? They promoted it, so they did not put they put Fyre Festival.
Yeah, they put the
hashtag or whatever. They didn't put advertisement,
which is big right now.
Right.
With the advertisement.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
So that was technically false advertisement. But I still feel bad because they didn't really know about it.
Yeah, they didn't do that at first. They were just posting pictures.
Yeah, but then Ja Rule and Grant and them were getting angry at them about
because they wasn't.
Like, you gotta
hashtag.
Like, you gotta.
They were
show
really
that
pressuring
you're part
them.
of something. You're not doing this on your own.
I don't like Grant.
So they were pushing them to do that because they weren't doing that at first.
I don't like Grant. I don't like Grant.
I don't think legally. I don't think that they should be responsible at all.
Yeah, but Ja Rule definitely forced them to do the whole hashtag thing. But yeah, a lot of the laws.
He was yelling.
Exactly.
He was yelling at him.
Hey,
you gotta put the hashtag. Put the fire. Put the fire emoji up there.
Or I'll murder.
But he really was though. And
you wanna swim with the fucking pig? first building, and he was charged and all that stuff. But you know, with Billy being in the public eye of all of this, you would think that he learned his lesson. But no, he didn't learn his lesson, because he went on to do another scam. And this scam was he did this with some guy named Frank Tribble Jr.
Frank Tribble.
Frank somebody.
Just call him Frank.
And they were sending out these emails to the same people, or I should say the same influencers that attended the Fyre Festival. They would send these emails about like exclusive tickets to certain events and stuff like that. One of the bigger ones was the whole Grammys thing. Something like reply if you want tickets to
VIP tickets to the Grammys, and the financier lady was like, first of all, you have to get invited to the Grammys.
Right. The Grammys just don't sell
tickets. They don't sell tickets for people to go. This is like the popular, you know, invite only type of thing.
Yep.
And the Victoria's Secret show too. And they were like, the thing isn't even out yet. How are you getting, you know, tickets for it?
Exactly. And then there were people, and I think I'm mad that these people fell for it. But at the same time, they didn't know it was coming from the same people that were doing the Fyre Festival.
They figured it out because
they figured it out.
Only getting sent to people that went to the Fyre Festival.
Exactly. That's how they figured it out. It took them a little while to figure it out, but they did figure it out. And then in the clip, Frank had on a Fyre shirt and a Magnesis hat, which are both scams ran by Billy McFarland.
Even Billy McFarland was aware of that stuff.
And it was really like an operation.
Right.
It was really like an operation. Like, he'll tell you when to send an email,
when to call.
Yeah.
He was basically like spamming people, because that one guy was like reading them bit after bit after bit. Like, he was just getting like all of them every day. Please call me, please text me, please email me, and all this other stuff.
Exactly.
And he had them all printed out.
Yeah. So now,
he's scared to go to. He in jail now, but he was scared to go to jail.
Yeah, because he asked the one guy who was like filming a lot of the stuff. He has the one guy like, how was it like? And what did he say, Jeff? He said,
how's it like to go in jail?
Yeah.
And he said it, well,
like 23-1 or something like that.
Either way, the guy was like, Billy seemed like he wasn't ready to be a part of that. Like, I mean, nobody is.
And now he is. The Hulu documentary actually has, you know, interviews of Billy McFarland. Like, they actually got him to, how much they paid him to do that? What was it, $25,000? What did they pay him?
No, it was like,
what did they pay him?
like $200K or something like that.
$200,000.
All the money he owed, and
somebody
somebody's still paying him?
Somebody,
all the money that he owed?
It might have been $25,000.
They paid him to be interviewed. Because in the Hulu one, he actually sits down and he's speaking with these people. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they wasted their money, because Billy still really didn't own up to shit.
He lied about everything.
He still really made it seem like he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And when someone called him out on it, because you'll see that in the documentary as well, then he want to excuse himself and be like, no comment, I'm not talking about this, and get an attitude. They wasted their money for that, because I could have told that crew that he was going to do that.
He still seems quite delusional to everything.
Yep. And now
he doesn't want anybody to look at him as a bad guy.
But he is a bad guy.
He poses as that as well.
And because of all this, he is currently in jail. He's serving 6 years, and he's not getting out to what, 2024?
Yep.
I think that's too early to go. Okay.
Yeah, I think he deserves a little more than that.
I think society will punish him once he get out, so he can't do nothing.
Oh, that's right. You gotta say what he's not allowed to do.
Right.
You know, you gotta say what he's not allowed to do.
Both Billy and Ja Rule are banned from attempting to do any event in the Bahamas. Ja Rule, again, you didn't know the specifics, but your face was all over this. So now Ja Rule got punished for what Billy did. So now, if he wanted to do something in the Bahamas, he can't.
But Billy is also banned from being a corporate officer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Billy is banned from being a corporate officer, and I think he's banned from creating any kind of business. Because you got the magnesium card that failed, Fyre Festival that failed, and then what was the name of this other scam? It was like,
I think it was called NYC Access.
NYC Access.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Scam. So there was 3 scams right there, and like in the Hulu documentary, when they talk about his childhood and stuff, he was kind of already scamming at that age, like that preteen, high school age. Like he was already doing stuff like that. He talked about a particular time where he he did something to his teacher's phone. He rerouted some stuff, and he did some like extra coding and made the teacher look crazy. And yeah, so if he was able to do it during high school, yeah, he was able to do it now. And now he's serving time for it. And now Ja Rule messed up a portion of his reputation just from being guilty by association. Mind you, all of this happened 2 years ago. Or almost 2 years, not even a full 2 years ago, like a year and a half. Like it was in the works 2016. The actual festival happened 2017, like April, May 2017. Any last comments y'all got on this situation, this scam, this scheme, this scandal?
Funny as shit. It's funny as shit.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Just don't believe everything you see on Instagram or social media, period. A lot of that stuff out here is fake. It's not real, you know. I'll say the real Fyre Festival was actually the shoot they did.
That's what one of the guys said.
Yes.
They were trying to bring Instagram to real life, and it failed, obviously. So
yeah.
that.
So it was not that. It wasn't even that the Fyre Festival didn't happen. It was that it didn't happen the way it was promoted, if that makes sense. Because if you see in both documentaries, there were really like parties going on. Like I remember, like I saw Ashanti on the yacht. There was a couple other celebrities I saw on that yacht. So it was like they had a little private little get together on their own private little Fyre Festival. But to promise it to everybody else like that, and none of it came true. Yeah, it was definitely a fraudulent experience.
Yeah, y'all gotta be careful. I mean, it's just like you gotta really read into things just before, you know. And everything is so online and so internet, and it's just you really have to like watch out for like I like in person stuff. Like I don't even online shop that much because I just like to know that whatever I'm getting is cool, and if I know that it's not, I already got it in my hand, and I just be like, nah, I don't want it. Mm-hmm. So you really have to watch out for all that type of stuff. Somebody stop comments or whatever from that. No, it's automatic fail. And plus, also make sure you're able to contact people too about all this type of stuff. But yeah, y'all gotta watch out. Don't just that look popping. And that filter was nice, so let's go about it. That's right. Not the situation. These filters, they come get you.
And you remember they had like that orange room? They just had that orange post that catch your attention.
Yeah.
Shit, I actually remember when I started seeing it on my timeline. So.
And I don't. That's the crazy part. I don't remember it.
I remember all of this stuff.
But that's genius marketing when you think about it, though. Like having that bright orange square just by itself.
It makes you go on the page
like you're scrolling down and you see the orange square and you just stop.
And when you see it continuously, especially on your Discover page, because other people are looking at the same thing, it catches your attention.
Also, look up reviews. Always look up reviews. I look at reviews all the time.
Me too.
My thing is, it's just one of those matters of stopping something at the source. And, I've said this before a while ago, like, before you start, you gotta stop, right? And it's literally think before you act, that's the bottom line. My thing is, from the gate, you got someone who has zero experience putting together, officiating anything, putting together a big festival. coupled with someone who is basically just along for the ride, trying to get some kind of notoriety, to generate his buzz back up, because he took some mean punches that messed up his career.
He took some excruciating L's.
So you got those two guys. You got someone with no experience, someone who's just on the outside looking in. It's like taking, a cop and a basketball player and saying start a restaurant. And it's like, no, literally, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that it's not doable, because things came off the ground. Right? However, they didn't have any experience. So when things kept crashing left and right, and they had to keep going out and getting more and more money, things that you probably should have had already, right? Then that's when it's like a shit hits the fan moment.
Red flags.
You know what I mean? And all of these red flags started to come about. But I'm not saying if you're somebody who's trying to do something new, don't do it. However, you got to put your research and your time in,
right,
before you take on anything. You know what I'm saying? And you got to surround yourself with the people professionally and legally to help get the jobs done. That way you don't have to create a series and years worth of scams to get your way and to get money to pay your debt on the back end, that you kicked up for yourself.
Yep.
So
also decipher the difference between confidence and false confidence. And it's like you can tell if somebody's the confidence they have in themselves, they're not really showing anything to uphold it.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore that's false confidence. Therefore they don't got what they say they got, which is what a lot of people said that Billy, that's how he acted. Like he just wanted, he always smiled all the time, and he always wanted to make it seem like, oh, it's just, a little bump in the road, when it was not.
Exactly, it was very major.
Yeah.
And like, we as a millennial generation, we need to do better at like not letting social media make our decisions.
Right.
And it's really because like, we fell for this orange post. And we let that, determine our lives. And it's not saying that we shouldn't look into it, but with the 2 pages, the Fyre Fraud and the Fyre Cage, literally letting us know day by day what was happening, and then we still bought our tickets anyway. It's like we chose to ignore the red flags, and then we wait until the final product is here, and it's disgusting. So, we got to stop depending on social media to make decisions for us.
Plus
really.
we get sucked in by words like gala, magazine, festival, and things like that. And people it's easy to put this, type that up into Facebook or, Instagram and create an event about it, create like a specific page about it, but you gotta really be like, okay, let me really see what this is before I just get hyped because this is gala or magazine or something like that. Like, that doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
Yeah, also don't be so focused on monetary gain to the point where you start to lose focus on, the important stuff like the process and everything like that.
Yeah.
That's Billy's problem, was he was money driven.
Yep.
Which led to his downfall.
And he probably looked at like all the insights.
Yeah.
And the impressions that Instagram has and all that stuff.
But he saw fame before legacy, and where he really succeeded is if he started something small in New York, small show where he can, get some acts. He has the funds, he can do that. Get some acts, get some key people, like Travis Scott, Chance, Migos or something like that at a smaller venue. You can get like maybe some hundreds or so people there. Do that a couple of times, kind of build up to be able to, get to festival status. Yeah, it takes time, and we don't like the idea of that because social media has sort of, poisoned us.
Like this instant gratification.
Everything is instant, hence Instagram. So it's like facts. And
I didn't even think about that.
Facts. So everything is instant. So my thing is, we don't understand the importance of legacy. He could have literally had a positive legacy behind his name had he done that and went that route. That's just an example. That's just one example of something he could have done to right the ship. But hey, that's what it is.
I think he just kept putting those commercials that he had on replay and just would watch it at night and just be hyped.
And he was really in paradise.
Yeah. So, and I think he just was really hyped about his little page.
So cognitive to where we are, today. The youth, especially. I mean, I kind of challenge the youth. I mean, use this as an example. Don't let what you see on TV fool you, man. I mean, think about it. I work in music. I work in media. You think these music artists really have, thousands and millions and billions of dollars and stuff?
No.
The people around them do. At the end of the day, after all their sales and blah blah blah, all those concerts that they sold out, they're left with literally what I can probably make in a year. So it's like, you got to think about that. Everything ain't what it seems. Take it from people that actually know. Research, and limit your. I'm not even gonna say that. But we constantly do look at everything. We look at all of these posts. We look at all these influencers and all these major acts and things like that. We see what they're doing. We see the lifestyle that they live. And we talked about this a lot of times before. Everybody's only going to post the positive or the cleanest pictures, to show just a side of them that people will assume is genuine, but it's truly not. The genuine stuff might be the ugliest things, but at least it's realistic. And you ain't got to show it off. Right? You ain't gotta show it off, but that don't mean hide.
We never did it.
Yeah, that don't mean hide behind pretty pictures. That don't mean hide behind pretty words and captions and videos and things like that, man. That's not what it means, right? It means you have to build the life that you want. You have to work for that, and it takes time, unfortunately. But that's just what it is. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes research, and it's possible. It's doable, especially nowadays. Everything is, people want things fast. Good luck. There's ways for you to achieve things faster. There's ways for you to achieve things faster, because that's just how media, that's just how social media, that's just how, the economy, that's how things have grown, at this point, it's to the point where our phones are literally getting our jobs done for us. Have you realized that? You know what I mean? Like, I work in the studio. It's getting to a point where people are going to download an app and at the flip of a switch, their song is mastered. It's literally getting like that. So, that just goes to show you there's hope out there, and you see it for yourself. Don't be blind to it. You see it yourself. But however, it takes that practice, that patience, that knowledge, that research, right, to understand. And we don't like the idea of that because, again, we want instant gratification. However, we see what instant gratification
it leads to an instant downfall.
It leads to an instant downfall. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And they should have spelled the PHY.
They spelled that shit. They spelled that shit with a Y for why bother.
PHYRE to make it look funky.
Fyre stands for fuck you, ruined everything.
That is funny. Anyway.
For your ruined evening.
Wow.
For your ruined experience.
Wait, no, that's a good one.
That was good.
I like them both, but I think I like the second one better.
Okay.
It just flowed better.
It did.
Yeah.
I like